To use the rich text editor, just go ahead and click Create Campaign as usual. Give your campaign a name. Just put in the subject line if you want, and the campaign name will be filled in automatically. Once you click Next Content, there it is. Now click Rich Text Editor. And here we go. Now the difference between the rich text editor and the plain text editor is that with rich text, you can still add things like bolding your text and use italics, strike through, underline. You can change the format. For example, if you want a title, I'll double click it, and every time you highlight a text, you get this bar here with the things I'm showing you right now. For example, if you want a heading title. And of course, with each one of these pieces of text, you can move it up or down, and you can keep formatting it by using all the things in this bar. You can make the text bigger, smaller, link the text. Cancel this. And you can also clear the format to make it back as it was before. Now, you can also personalize your text. And if you're not highlighting a text and just want to add, for example, some personalization, you double click, and then you have the variables. And if you have the name of your subscribers in your database, in this case, each subscriber will see their name over here in this email. Then we got things like emojis. Double click again here, and you can search for them here or just use the emojis from the list over here. And there we go. And we have access to more blocks because these are text blocks that you can, like I said, move. You can move them around like this. You can also use these arrows to move them up or down. Then we have the image block, and we can use this little slider to make it smaller or bigger. We can also double click it, and this will allow us to start editing the block. You can click the image, choose one of our images right over here. And there we go. We can also use our third-party editor to edit this image. For example, if we want to go with black and white, we can do that. Then save. And sometimes we'll need to wait a while for the image editor to start implementing these changes right over here. And of course, we can put in a URL. The default image, we can change the image width by using these buttons, or like I said, by just dragging up or down. Once we're done, we can save. One more thing, we can also align it to the left and right. But we need to make it smaller for us to be able to see that, center or left. Now I'm going to save this, and I'm going to show you another block here. Then we have the tables. Again, we can click this, or in some cases, we can just use these three buttons and use this pencil icon. And it does the same thing. It just opens up the edit features for that specific block. And we can add more rows, more columns, add zebra striping to our tables. There we go. Let's change the column amount. We can have a table header, full width or not. And we can change the styles of the header. For example, we can change the borders here if we want something darker. And we can cancel the changes over here. We can also, like with every single block, we can also duplicate things. So there we go. And like with every other block, we can also delete it by using this trash icon over here. The next block we have is a signature one. This is pretty cool. Again, if we click it, this will open up and we can start drawing our signature. This is my little weird made up signature. And we can apply it, and it will show here. That doesn't look too good. Or we can type in our name here, for example, and just use these letters over here. We can see the changes here. Or we can upload a file if we want a really nice signature. All right, I'm going to cancel this again, so it's going to go back to how it was. Then we also have the divider. And the divider, we have two now. We don't have any edit features here for it. We need to go to the global settings if we want to change the editing for this, the design for this. Then we have the button. And if we click it, we can enter the URL and have it open in a new tab. We also have different editing options for the button here, like the alignment if we want it to be in the middle, to the left, to the right, or full width, for example. I'm going to go with left. Of course, we can change the colors and many other things by using these buttons over here and these different sliders over here. I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it. Then we have the quote. This is the quote block. And in this case, we do not have any edit options when we click this block. We don't have the edit options here because all the changes for this block and for the divider here will be changed here. So we can change the color to blue. We can have the block width be a little bigger. This is what I'm changing right over here. And we can save that. And same thing with the divider. It's over here. We can change the color, make it darker, and it globally changes both of these dividers, all the dividers. And all the quote blocks will be the same. So instead of full width, we can have half width, and we can change the style to dashed, for example, if we like that. I'm not going to use those changes. And these are other global changes you can do. So if you want to change, for example, the text globally, you can go ahead and do that. And as you saw, the changes were done here globally. I'm going to go back to black, and this has changed, and this has changed again. And of course, if you change one color of the text, there we go, then that's not going to change anymore. There we go. So all the colors changed to green, except that one part that I edited specifically. All right, looking pretty colorful. Of course, this is just a demo. I wouldn't be setting out an email like this. Then we also have the video block, which is pretty cool. We can click on this block, input, let's say a YouTube video, and just click this button or click the enter button. And this basically creates a GIF, an animated image over here. And of course, if we want, we can also have a static image. Then nothing's going to be moving. But the animated one is pretty nice because it looks like a video. And when someone clicks that video, it will link to the video over here. Now, we also can add video alt text, and we can also, instead of linking it to the source, we can link it to somewhere else, anywhere else we want. And of course, what I like is to use the open link in new tab. We can also change the button over here by using these buttons here. And we can change some of the settings, again, if we want it to align to the left or to the right, but this will change only when we use the custom width, and then we see all the changes going on here. Then we can save that. And let's see, social links are here. Actually, let me change this to static so it's not as distracting. Then we have the social images. When we click that, we can see that we have the Facebook social link, and we can add more social links and more and more and more and more. And of course, we can look for the specific one by using the search feature or just going through and trying to find the one we're looking for. And in the settings, we can also align this to the center. For example, if it's at the bottom of the page, we can use center or not, just keep it to the left. Instead of circles, we can have squares. And instead of black or gray, we can also use colors. I'm going to save this. And I'm going to look at the last counter block. Again, we click it, set up our time over here, or by using this calendar button here, and we can change the exact time when we want this countdown timer to go down. And we can also change the text over here if we want. If we're using another language, for example, in our email, we can change this. And in the design, again, you can center it, make it align to the right, to the left, change the counter color, and change the font if you would like that. There we go. Now let's look at the other global settings we have here. Here are our footer settings. So you can change the color of the text in the footer itself. Make it blue. If you want to change the links to another color, I'm just going to make it red so it stands out. This is where the changes have been made. And if we want to edit this text, we can just edit it here. Except if we want to edit the unsubscribe link, we need to click it, and then we can change the text here. There we go. Click Save. Other global settings, we can have the pre-header. This is what people will see after the subject line in their email client. You can add some more text if you want. You can change the fonts for all of the fonts in your email. Then we can change the header, the heading 2. I already showed you how that works. And the links and the buttons are over here. Again, these are global changes, but you can also change each one of these specifically, except the divider currently and the quote block. Then we have full width. We can have it look like that. But for me, that doesn't look too good. So I always like to use this limit. And instead of having it centered, we can also align it to the left. And that's more like the traditional email, the old school email type. Then on the top, we can change or undo some of the changes we made. For example, let's undo what I just did. I aligned it to the left, or I can redo it again. And also, we're going to be able to have different versions. Once we save this email, we can go back to an older version of this email, and we'll also see this right over here. Then we have actions, which allows us to save this as a template so that we can reuse it in the future. Then we have preview and test. You can send a test email, just put in your email here and click send test. I'm going to cancel this. And we have preview mode. That's how people will see your email because it was aligned to the left. And then we have the mobile view over here. We can copy the shared URL here and save everything as a PDF. I'm going to close this, and I want to talk about one last feature. Once you use these 3 dots over here, there's a little eye you might have noticed. If you click this, it opens up the dynamic content feature. And this is connected with this specific block. So in this case, all recipients will see this block, and all the recipients you're sending to will see all these blocks that I just created over here. But if I want only one of our groups to see a specific block, I can change this here. For example, I can have this image of this laptop be shown only to a specific group. I can choose the group right over here. And I can choose a couple of different groups. Then the person will need to be in all of those groups or any of a specific group. And then that person can be in any of the groups I choose here. I can also customize this by custom fields. So if someone is from a specific country, let's say country equals USA, then if they have that data in their fields, only they will see this image. Or I can exclude this image from specific groups by choosing the groups over here. And once I choose a specific recipient from here, for example, unhappy, and click Save, only that group will see this image. And if I go to Preview and Test, Preview Mode, and click Desktop, I will see these additional settings over here, and I will preview. This is what everyone will see, and this is what our targeted group will see, the unhappy subscribers. And there we go. Only the unhappy subscribers will see this image right over here. All right, let's close this. And once we're done editing, just go ahead and click Done Editing. Choose the subscribers you want to send this email to. Click Next Review. This is a review to all the changes you made. You can also send a test email from here, edit the content again, edit the recipients, etc. And once you're done, click Next Schedule. Send now, later, or you can deliver based on time zones. This is a premium feature. And you can use Google Analytics. If you use Google Analytics, you can check mark it. If you don't, just make sure it doesn't break your site. Once you're done, just go ahead and click Schedule, and you are ready to go. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Please click subscribe, use the little bell icon. You can also catch us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, use the little subscribe link in the description to sign up to our newsletter. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.